What is a bad game? Now, I'm not actually asking for a game that you think is bad, I'm asking what qualifies a game as being bad. This is a question I ask myself all the time when I'm reviewing games, and honestly, I think I've come to the conclusion that there are no bad video games. Shocking, I know. First off, let's talk about scoring games. It's something I do at the end of most of my reviews. I give the game a score out of 10. From what I understand, a lot of people don't like scoring games, and I can see why. It can be quite contradictory, and at the end of the day, you can try to score as unbiasedly as humanly possible, but it's still based around an opinion. Just like the word bad. Whether you think something is good or bad is entirely subjective. Here is a game that I consider to be good, but I'm sure there are some people out there that would disagree. Totally fine, because it's all opinions. You don't have to like everything I like. Now here is another game that I consider to be good, and I'm sure most of you think I need to be locked away for suggesting such a thing. Now while I can normally back up why any game is good or bad with legitimate arguments, it still comes down to personal opinions and preference. But back to bad video games, is this a bad game? Some would argue yes, some would argue no, and some people like myself might argue that it's so bad it's good. What the hell does that mean? It means that a game is so bad, normally broken or filled with some cringe factor, that it becomes fun to point and laugh at and rip at many new holes. But again, it's just another opinion. So then what determines if a game is so bad that it's good? I genuinely don't know, and again, it's entirely subjective. But the purpose of this video is to figure out what qualifies as a bad game, because there are bad games out there. I think I've found the solution to this problem. There are no bad games, but instead mediocre games. Games that just aren't worth the time. So, here is a scale from 1 to 10, okay? 10 is the best and 1 is the worst. There is no 0 because 0 equals nothing, meaning that there is no game. Let's try to compile a list of games that fit each level of scoring and try to figure out what games are bad. Now again, this is all opinions, but I'll do my best to put things where the majority of people may put them. Now, there are many great, amazing gaming experiences out there. The Grand Theft Autos, Final Fantasies, and the Legend of Zeldas of the world. These are spread over 9 and 10. Then you've got games that, while not up to the epic level, are still really great games like Crash and Castlevania. At 7, the games are still good and worth a person's time, but maybe missing something here or there. You'll find that a large majority of games would fit into this category. That's why I give so many 7s. Below that are games that are still worth playing and are good, but they're just not up to scratch. Now, a lot of people complain when I give the score of 6 to games that they would give 7s or 8s. I'm of the opinion that 6 is still a good score and worthy of a player's time and energy. Then we get to 5, which pretty much means that it could have been better, but it isn't. It's average. However, they can still be okay games if you want to play them. At 4, we have games like these, and then we get to 3, 2, and 1. This is where all this stuff lives. Failed games that flopped at 3 and 2, then pretty much shovelware and bargain games between 2 and 1. So here is our full scale. I'm going to give you a moment to decide where you think the mediocre or bad games should be ranked. What is the worst score for a game to be given? Okay, now again, totally my opinion. Here we have the classics, the gems, all that. Here is where all the good games are, the stuff that is solid and just all around pretty good. Below that is the stuff that is still okay, just not as good as it could have been, but can sometimes still be worth playing. Now what do we do here? Typically anything that would be considered so bad it's good would cover this, and that leaves the score of 4 out of 10. I feel that this is the worst score that could be given to a game. It's worse than being still okay, but not so bad that it's good. And I feel that the perfect example of this is Jak and Daxter: The Lost Frontier. Now of course, totally my opinion, as unbiased as I can make it. I'm also not saying that bad games don't fall under the scores of 1, 2 and 3. Not every bad game is so bad that it's good. I just feel like the worst criticism for a game is that it's mediocre and not worth the time, which in other words, is a bad game. But tell me, what do you think? Can a game be bad? What are some games that you would give a 4? And what do you think about scoring video games altogether? Let me know with a comment below, followed by a like, a subscription and a share. I'm Square Eyed Jack, and have a great fucking day. Thanks for watching.